That's amazing. We have had quite a few connections made that just kind of came out of just people talking to each other. And so, Jeff, you've had several different. We'd like to hear your testimony, is what we're hearing for what the meetings are doing so far, and also want to get your feedback on what we could do better. So that's kind of our talk today. It won't be a whole lot of teaching. It's just going to be getting to network and communicate with you guys and find out what your vision is about, and maybe start contemplating your mission vision for 2024. And so Jeff, yeah, what testimonies do we have from you? I know there's a bunch of, including somebody went back to church after one of our meetings, came to the church, and then got baptized, right?
We've had a lot of many testimonies, and so thank you. My name's Jeff Lewis, and I'm honored to be able to host this event with Ken. Just to tell you a bit of the history, as we're waiting on a few other people to join. I guess we're a little early. Ray Walter, buddy of mine, we go way back, and Ray is Ken's brother-in-law. And Ray and I lived together, single guys at the bachelor pad 20 plus years ago. Over those years, we worked for one another. We owned stuff together, bought deals and done transactions, and married each other, so to speak, right? Married us off to the.
Do you want to clarify that?
Yeah, let me clarify that a little bit. We were in each other's weddings, and my wife and I had the honor to literally help birth their first daughter, Ava, and so had a catcher's mitt ready to go. I said, I don't think I've ever done this before, but that was a joy. So. To the here and now, we love the group. We have no objective other than to connect one another, have deals happen, and help practice what it looks like to play in the kingdom, and what does it look like to have expectation of things happening, miracles, and does the Lord love business? Right. I think that may be one of the questions, and I think the answer is a resounding yes, He does. And so we have seen we have many testimonies. I don't know that I'll get into all of them right now, but man, it's just a joy to see what the Lord is doing in each of your lives and in my life. And it is, I am so grateful every day for everything. And even more so, for the pitch I gave myself in the kitchen the other day was could the worst thing that ever happened to me wind up being the best thing? And the answer is a resounding yes. And so I wouldn't, had it not been for shipwrecks, I would have never found Jesus. Had it not been for more shipwrecks, I wouldn't have recommitted my life to follow the Lord. Had it not been for even more shipwrecks, I wouldn't have found the Vineyard Church. And even more shipwrecks, I wouldn't have the testimony that I have today, and the people that we've been able to impact. So I'm grateful for shipwrecks. I'm not praying for any more, but I'm thankful for the ones that I've had in the past. And the Lord has exercised and used that to bring His glory through those circumstances. So, amen. That's my preaching today.
Well, there were plenty of shipwrecks in the Bible, especially in Acts, right? So
yes, there was.
or Jonah. I mean, gosh, you can go on and on.
Yeah.
But you were at the Vineyard for 22 years, isn't that right?
20, maybe 25. So yeah.
Wow, and you got married there too.
Got married there, and for those who don't know, I've been drunk there, and I've been sober there. I've been fairly well-footed, and I've ate out of the food bank, all at the same church.
All righty then. Okay, so we are almost there. It's 11:59. We're already covering some ground here. So, hey, Skylar, how you doing?
Hey, Ken, doing great. How's everybody?
Yeah, good to be out here today. Good to stay out of the rain, right? And it's
Yeah.
another reason for these online meetings where, when we get together, we're seeing anywhere from 40 to 60 plus people at these events, a lot of new people too, words getting out. And so with 1 hour to pull this off, there's really not a whole lot of time to actually do networking and hear about your business and that's the purpose of the online meetings is to really kind of connect in a way that we can really learn more about what it is and what your what is it that you need or what is it that you have that you would like to share, and so today is kind of like as we're going into 2024, it's about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks out from 2024. We want to kind of share a little bit of our what God's kind of downloaded, a mission, vision, and values, and it's still growing and changing for this organization, but also to encourage you to work on your business's mission, vision, and values as they change and as you move through the history of your business. So, and I've written a couple books on goal setting, and now's the time to start like planning goal setting and plan your growth plan for next year. How are you going to grow? What resources are you going to do? But not on New Year's Day, New Year's resolutions, because resolutions are meant to be broken, right? Just kind of, it's a common thing. So start your planning now, start your goal setting and your growth plan now. And so I'm really pleased to see those on the line. We're going to have an opportunity to introduce ourselves as we go through the presentation. Like to really have you talk as you can. Depending on how many people show up on the meeting, we try to keep it down to an elevator speech of about a minute to a minute and a half. It's one of the things that we're going to be kind of role playing and doing this in the future and getting taught is just like they do in BNI, Business Networking International, the biggest networking group. They teach you how to interact in a networking situation. And so that's going to be very helpful down the line. Is in other words, you got to have I call it a business card speech. Like basically, I'm Ken Renner, a real estate broker, been doing this for 40 years. That's it, that in a nutshell. Then there's a elevator speech, which is introduction, which is more like 30, 45 seconds. Think about an elevator, think about a commercial. You're going to cover the basic points of your business and things like that and who you serve and all that. And then there's what I call it the song or the cocktail party mention, where you're standing around in a circle talking to some people and they say that you got about 3 or 4 minutes. Hey, tell us what you do. And you go much more into a deep dive. So those are kind of 3 speeches or 3 introductions I think we really should have down because you're always getting asked that question. And so, but anyways, thank you guys for all showing up. And I'm not a Zoom expert by any means, for sure. And so I don't even know how to do the whole chat box thing and all that. And that's a good thing that we're getting off this format and going to an actual webinar platform moving forward. I've already got the program ready to download it and rock and roll with it. And also, I know Skylar knows this, but I've been out actively looking for a marketing assistant to do to help us not only with this organization, but with my own organization, mostly the online stuff. I'd like to start out with prayer. And this is a good one for where we're at right now. And one of the things, I know you're going to know this one by heart, but I think a lot of times when we hear this scripture, we get caught a little short on what the instructions were that really are very exciting. And so, it's Jeremiah 29:11, right? So, for I know the thoughts I think toward you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. We've heard it different versions and all that, but the bottom line is that the Lord, through his scripture, gives us the instructions. So then in 12 and 13, then you will call upon me and go and pray to me, and I will listen. I will listen to you. So now you got God's ear. And then 13 kind of brings it all together, and you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. I will be found by you, says the Lord. So he knows the plans he has for us. He wants us to come to him and he'll incline his ear. But then he goes, pray to me like pretty much with all your heart and get the source of what it is, because he's got the answer for you, and it's great to be found by God, and that's what the scripture says. All right. So just so before we get into introductions and things like that, I did want to kind of give you a little bit of a short mission vision statement for what what we're looking at in 2024. And obviously this is a changing thing because we've gone from 12 people in a conference room in about less than a year, or a little over a year, to 50, 60 people. Now, how far do we want to go? Jeff and I had this conversation. How far does God want to take it? And know what does that look? And so right now we're basically preparing for 100 people, but we're not preparing for 500 yet, right? So we gotta take it in small bites. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. So just kind of using a cool thing called ChatGPT, because it also helps generate some of the quick answers that I needed, which is what is a mission statement? My definition of mission statement is one sentence or two sentences at the most, really describing what your company does. A vision statement is what is it going to look like in the future? A paragraph. And then we have our values statement. What values do we base this? So it's mission, vision, and values. So according to GPT, mission was the purpose, describes the organization's purpose, overall intention. It serves as a guide for decision-making and aligns the organization's operations with its philosophy. The next one is a vision statement, purpose. The purpose outlines the organization, what it aspires to be in the future. It's inspirational and aspirational, guiding the long-term planning and direction of the organization. And then the value statement is express the core beliefs and values, principles that the organization holds. It influences the culture and ethics within the organization, guiding how employees behave and make their decisions. So, I kind of was in prayer on this morning, and what I would love to see is an Acts chapter 2 type business network, where everybody was in a unity and of one accord, and nobody went hungry. So, we shouldn't have lack in this, and nobody should have lack in this organ and that are hearing. If you are in lack, we can certainly, our purpose is to help you to get out of lack and start with go into an abundance mentality. And then again, we're an organization where we want to network, but we also want to mentor and be mentored. And a good question to ask: who is your mentor? Because we just don't all have it together. So I just feel that that's probably something that would be really, really powerful. So the mission statement quickly is a group of Christ-centered leaders who connect, inspire, and empower each other to expand the kingdom of heaven or kingdom of God in the marketplace. That's the one sentence mission statement. Vision statement, which I'm still working on, but as a group of Christ-centered leaders who connect, inspire, and empower each other to expand the kingdom of God in the marketplace. We build community through bi-monthly meetings to connect, share a meal, and share networks of help to help encourage each other, grow, prosper, and bear fruit for the kingdom, to inspire and empower our business leaders to put Christ at the center of their sphere of influence and promote the cause of Christ and the kingdom in our homes and businesses. That's kind of the vision statement. And of course, the values are basically Christ-centered values of love, faith, hope, forgiveness, humility, integrity, stewardship, compassion, peace, justice, really putting others first, adding value to each other. So I did want to share that with you, and can also share you the format and some of the new things we'll be adding. First of all, if my new webinar platform works good, we can get off the Zoom platform. I'm still okay with Zoom if that makes it easier for everybody, but we'll see it as we'll play with that before the next meeting. The way the format of the meetings go is that we have 2 times we meet a month. The first or second Tuesday, second Wednesday is this online meeting. And the fourth Wednesday is at the Vineyard Church. We get together. Thank you, Ben, Pastor Ben. We get together, we break bread. We'll probably change up the food. So far, the brisket's been a hit. So we've tried other things. Turkey sandwiches just didn't go over well as brisket, but so But we get together, we break bread, we have a teaching from an inspirational speaker, a Christ-centered speaker. And, I see a lot of people on this, and Pastor Ben spoke, Jeff spoke, I've spoke, but we've also, the last one was really amazing with Renee Evans. And I think that's really what we would love to see is the testimonies. She was really, her big point was what really makes this a lot of fun and really, oh gosh, it just has the juice of these meetings is let's hear a testimony. Whether it's because of the meeting or because of something that happened to God that did for you that week, we want to hear about that too. So, with that done, oh yeah, so we also will be opening up a private Facebook group so that we can network with each other, put out ideas between meetings. And the last meeting, I saw a lot of people getting together. Maybe some people had never met before and they were already making lunch plans. Some people that hadn't seen each other in 10, 15 years that decided to make lunch plans right there. And they, so that's really exciting to see people connect and reconnect at these meetings, and then go share life and do life together. So with that, I'd love to hear from Pastor Ben, since he's been providing the house, and let us start with him, and we appreciate you being on the call. Oh, you have to unmute.
There we go. Everybody hear me? Yeah, it's great to be back with you guys. I've been sorry I've been out last little while, so it's great to be back. We're sharing mission vision statements and things.
Yeah, mission, visions, and values, and then we're
awesome,
and then networking together.
Awesome. So yeah, I'd love to just share. It's been incredible hosting. Huge thanks to Ken and Jeff and the team for all that you guys do, and it's just a huge joy to get to host this business lunch, and I see all kinds of stuff happening behind the scenes with talking about testimonies. But yeah, our church, so we worked really, really hard actually it was last January, spent about a week and just took all the content that we had, who we are as a church, and boiled it down. And so I've got something in terms of mission statement, and we tried to simplify stuff as much as possible as well. So our mission statement is inviting everyone, all people, to know and experience the radical love of God. And then our vision statement is imagine each individual, business, and authority in Austin seeing the Vineyard as an essential part of the community. The Vineyard is a safe place where refugees, the poor, and anyone in need can belong and have their practical needs cared for through our ministries, as well as working in tandem with other organizations. Students and young professionals see the Vineyard as a safe place to explore faith, belong, and find community. Inside the heart of our church, authentic relationships flourish. True identity in Christ is explored and understood. Wounds are healed, and all nationalities, ethnicities, and races come together to glorify God. Together, our unified hearts beat as one as we become Spirit-led leaders in our homes and lives. So that's a little bit of our kind of the heartbeat behind our church. So yeah,
that's pretty inspiring. What's inspired me was when we were at your church. You're very humble, and about what is the impact that you're already making, that the church is making, and what God's doing through the church. When I saw 35,000 pounds of food lining the hallways from floor to ceiling, and then just organizing how many hundreds of meals, and I mean that's like a week's worth of meals in these boxes that you give away. And so I mean that's what you're feeding the hungry right out your front door. I mean that's what Christ wants us to do, right? And then you get to share the love of God at the same time. I'm just really impressed.
Well, thanks so much. Yeah, it's been a huge joy, and it's this process now. It's been incredible to see. We have a community garden. So we have organic produce that gets fed into the food pantry. We feed over 400 families a month now. It's actually, the whole church is getting torn up starting now. And so outside my office, all the hallways the food's coming out and everything. And then out of that is we have all these immigrants coming into Austin from Central and South America. And so we have a Spanish service now, and so there's connect points, and we pray for people as they come get food. And now there's a direct invite into a Spanish speaking service, and a lot of resources out of that as well. So yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting.
Wow, wow. International church, I guess.
Yes, very much so. I don't know, just one, if I got 30 more seconds, just
Sure.
a Venezuelan family had a horrific time coming through Panama, and they made it to Austin, and they got to our church, and the family was just like, had eaten their last food, and they came into the church and they got food, and we have their testimony now caught on, you know, they've shared their testimony via video, but it was just incredible to see that that link, and they came right in, and they had a little baby, and the baby got fed, and just you know, it's literally a day after getting to Austin. So it was pretty cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's really cool. So okay. Jeff, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself? Give us your elevator speech on what it is, who you are, and who you serve, and gotta unmute though.
Okay. Jeff Lewis, Second Chances Recovery Homes. We have a mission, vision, purpose, and a tagline. Tagline we stole part of that from UT. So what starts here changes lives. Under our value is under our roof. Here is how we behave around one another. We make money, make beds, serve others, make amends, and explore faith. Vision, we walk out real life with the tools to stay sober, forgive ourselves and others, and help another recovering addict along the journey. And then sober, our mission, so Second Chances Recovery Homes, is about helping find a road to recovery in the midst of life's pressures to the contrary. So that's who we are. We have men's homes, women's homes, and moms and babies homes.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I'm banking on, we've had about 100 babies. I'm banking on one of them being president.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for serving, especially in the place where a lot of people don't want to go down that route with sober living homes and what you called it in some ways, the lepers of our society, like unclean. So, you know,
Sure.
Jesus loved the lepers. Okay, Skylar, the marketing man, you don't have to give us mission vision. You can just tell us what, you know, if you have one, great, or just tell us, you know, who you serve and what it is you do and about your company and how we might be able to help you.
Yeah, thank you, Ken, and appreciate the group too. You know, William's here in the call. We started Kingdom Marketing about 6 months ago out of a shared, just sort of like a shared sharpening. We became friends, you know, about 2 years ago and started talking, and we're like, you know, what is it that we're doing? Like, what are we doing to help get activated, to help other people get activated, to get activated in the kingdom specifically? And we just kept coming back to Matthew 25, and we had this parable of the talents. And, you know, for some reason, it was like I just kept seeing myself as that one talent man who was afraid and dug a hole and didn't do anything. And so William and I, like, I have history, been doing marketing for 20 years, and William's a fantastic business development individual, professional. And so we started this company as a specific effort to help businesses, kingdom-oriented businesses, grow their talents. And so that's our mission, is to do that. I'd say our vision is not just to grow businesses, but it's to grow kingdom-oriented businesses, both financially, but in mindset as well. And so our goal is to help business owners who are kingdom-oriented business owners to think of their businesses as a set of talents. And so what are you doing with that, right? And what is your responsibility that you've been given with this set of talents that's been put in your lap? You know, how are you stewarding those? I love that core value that you have of stewardship, because I think that's just 100% in everything when it comes to what God has done for us. He's entrusted us with those things. And we think about that word entrusted, that's a kind of a very scary thing. It can be at times. But he's entrusted with us, knowing full well that sometimes we don't have to know everything to do everything. You know, the one talent man dug it in the ground and he said, "Look, I was afraid because I knew you were a harsh master." And the master came and he was like, "Look, you didn't have to know what you were doing. All you had to do was go give it to somebody who did." And so that's how we see, you know, kingdom marketing is we're trying to get in and help grow kingdom oriented businesses, because we know that if kingdom oriented businesses grow and the mindset of kingdom oriented business owners grows, then the kingdom will grow. And so we're going to do that. And then we're also taking our resources as much as we can and injecting those back into the kingdom as well. So we're really excited to be part of this group because we just think it's very on brand for us, I guess, so to speak. So that's all I have for me. I don't know, William, if you want to add anything else to that.
Thank you, Skylar. Appreciate it. William, you want to add anything?
Well, I was about to say, I'll wait my turn till Ken calls on me, but
Well,
sure.
we'll get back to Denise here in a second.
Yeah, thanks. Just to herald in on that, there was a paradigm shift in my life. Christ saved me at one time and continues to save me. And there's a reason behind why we're doing what we're doing. And we believe in it. And I just kind of wanted to speak. Amen, Skylar. I want to speak on like what it is that we're doing, like who we're partnering with, like what is the mission kind of on the back end. And that is partnering with like foundations and nonprofit entities. Right now, we have a partnership with Sacred Selections. They are a foundation that has grown probably over the past 13, 15 years, Skylar. Am I getting that number right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and they're just on fire, and they're just allowing adoption costs to be incurred on the foundation to put fatherless children into kingdom-oriented homes.
Nice.
And they cover the entire adoption process. And so just like being able to inject funds, because I got to a point personally where the tray came across the aisle at church. And sure, we put the money in there, but for some reason a disconnect in my heart happened. I don't know if it was just because of the mechanics of it. I don't know, but personally, I was like, I want to figure out how to do more. And I think that how we do more is with the monetary value that businesses are able to bring in. At an individual level, sure, we all have our salaries, we all have our resources, but business resources seem to be 10x that, 100x that, and whatnot. And so how do we use those resources to inject back into the kingdom? And so that's what really got me on fire about it. It's how do we scale? As a business development professional, I'm always figuring out how to scale.
Well, you know,
And
one thing about
how do we scale the kingdom? And that's just my biggest drive right now.
one of the things that Pastor Ben, like I said, when the plate goes across, you can all you have to do is look at the 35,000 pounds of food behind in the hallway. So you know, that's when you actually see the fruit. You know, the fruit of it actually appearing in the hallway. It's pretty amazing.
Right.
Denise, we'll try to keep it a little quick. We've got quite a few people to connect through. So Denise, tell us who you are, what your company does, and who you serve, and what is your ask.
Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon to you. My name is Denise Hunter. I'm owner and CEO of Sisters Senior Care. I enjoy the fact that I can bring some relief to families who are struggling with their senior parents or family members about where to put them and how to provide the best care for them, especially those suffering with dementia, Alzheimer's, or any kind of cognitive decline. I recruit and provide caregivers as well as going into the homes to just kind of put systems in the homes that would have the seniors person live safely in the home, especially when family members or themselves feel like the house is now a risk. You know, in terms of just spatial, systems in place, you know, having to do with appointments or companion care, or just having charge of a home that they can live in safely and kind of maintain memories and maintain life as long as possible in a way that brings a little bit of light.
Yeah, thank you very much. We did have a conversation. We have elderly parents, and
Mhm.
and it's such a need to be filled, and it's you know, our baby boomer generation is only getting older.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I know nobody wants to think about having to go into a home. So the longer they can stay in their own home, and I think you
Mhm.
provide a super awesome service for that, because that's you know, that's just an amazing compassionate thing that you're doing. And this is how it kind of works. You know, Denise asked me if I could help her sell her house a long time ago, because I met her through a financial advisor who's also part of the group. And then actually called her about a client that I had that wanted to buy her house. She'd already put it back on the lease market and got it rented. And so
Mhm.
right at that time, I was like, oh, that's the same. She was talking to me about my in-laws. And so here it is, we're like already doing business together. Didn't even
Yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
You know, and then like Jeff, I've been looking for a home for his next sober home. So, you know, we do business together. I'm going to be talking to Skylar and William about some marketing ideas. And so that's kind of the way it works. And the only way you're really going to do business together is if you know, like, and trust them. And the only way to know, like, and trust them is get to know them, right?
Yeah.
Know their
Yeah.
values. And I love that word Skylar said, is trustworthiness. That's the big thing here. So we'll come across to Yomi. Yomi, I know you've got a couple things. You got your nonprofit, and then you've got your insurance business, and you really like to talk a lot about those, but we only have a few more minutes left. Just kidding. I'll give you some. I know I'm giving you a hard time. Go ahead and tell us about.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Yomi Adebo. Ken and I go
Way
long way
back.
back, so you can always expect that he'll be taking some jabs at me. But anyway,
It's a good job.
it's nice meeting everybody here. Yes, my name is Yomi Adebo. I've been an insurance agent for years. Lately, just like Jeff was saying, what I do change lives. And because insurance is restoration to where you were or before you had your loss, or how do you live life after some losses, and losses come from different dimensions. You know, so awareness is what I bring to people to pay attention, to do what they need to do so that they'll keep their financial situation better than what it was before. With this, what we oftentimes we neglect. But having said that, you know, I used to do property and casualty, but my emphasis has gone a lot into Medicare, health insurance, and life insurance lately. So we're in a very, very peak season at this time. Nobody here is a senior, but please, you do know seniors that I can talk to, or even besides that, you as an individual, there are things you just don't think is important that I'll love to sit down and talk to folks about this. But let me go to my nonprofit. I'm a part of two organization. I wear two hats, and I'm doing fundraising campaign right now for both of them. But we have mission endeavors in Africa, but we've also sent missionaries to United States. There is a guy who's in town right now, an organization that started some almost 50 years ago out of just students who started this, unbeknown to them what it was going to be. But today it's a mission sending organization. The entire continent of Africa, there's no place you go, you won't find some of their missionaries there. They've been doing this for many years because the Western missionary organizations are not allowed back into some of these countries, but we are able to go there because it's easier for us to blend in and do what we need to do for the kingdom. So this is where the challenge is. We operate quite a bit in the Middle East, and people don't know. We can talk about that later because time is of the essence. So we'll do that. Then there's also the African Christian Fellowship that was birthed here in the United States almost 50 years ago by students. Today, they send missionaries back to the continent and within the U.S. We're building schools. We just came from Mission Field in Sierra Leone. School is built. We have clinic there. Ultimately, my dream is that that place should become a hospital because it's in a an underserved area that people don't know, but it's easier again for us to go and go into the villages and picking things here and there so that I don't take too much time. But as time goes on, I get acquainted with a bunch of folks, Jeff, Ken, and some other folks. Thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Yomi. So one of the things that we're going to be doing, it's really amazing. There's a lot of people in this have missions that they're already supporting. So amazing stuff. What I wanted to also add here is that for longer conversations, I'm doing what's called experts interviews, which is basically a Zoom call like this, but only 2 of us on a call, where we can spend 10 or 15 minutes talking about your business, or 10 minutes, 15 minutes talking about your ministry that you could use as a tool for social media. We'll put it on our Facebook, so you'll get exposure through being a part of the community, and also an interview, an interview from somebody else that asks about the business. And we do it in a video, send it out. I just did it one for Divine Savior Church, and really basically talking about the new high school here in Santa Rita Ranch. Spent 17 minutes just talking like this about it, asking a few questions, and it came out really well. And then we get that word out through all of our Facebook channels and through our spheres of influence. So if you're interested in just having an interview about your business, I'll be more than happy to set that up with you, and that way we can go deep dive about what you're doing, which makes it even more fun with not having to take up everybody's time. So appreciate all that you do, Yomi. You're amazing. We've known each other for years, and that you have a heart as big as Texas. All right, Teresa, from the wellness coach.
Hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Teresa Martinez. Thank you so much for having me here. I've met some of you in person, so this is my first Zoom. So just a quick intro. I am the founder of Roots and Remedies. So we are a holistic health and wellness practice here in town. I've been a massage practitioner for 21 years too long. And that's kind of where my journey started. Before I was having a health challenge, and I already had my license. So I've just started kind of doing remedies, natural ways to help myself heal from emotional, energetic, and, passed down traumas and things like that. So I've done my work and I incorporated those types of things that have helped me with my clients. So I help folks not only on a holistic aspect, but also cellular healing. So 3 years ago during COVID, I was also having some symptoms that was pretty challenging, and I didn't want to have to go the med route or the hospital route. And so I self-medicated with a breakthrough technology called redox molecules. And so now I'm really passionate about sharing this because it's another business avenue for me. So I recruit people that want to share this breakthrough technology to help people change lives worldwide. And so that's something that I educate. And so my ask is anyone that, of course, is either dealing with a health challenge or wants to go a holistic, more natural, native remedies approach, or just if you have a facility or some place that is open to having, there's a lot of senior centers that I've been doing here lately, and just different centers that are open to having people like professionals come in and talk about wellness or this technology that helps at the cellular level to restore and rejuvenate cells. That's my ask. So if anybody can connect me with those places, I'd appreciate it. And then I'm happy to offer one-on-one free health and wellness evaluation to you all if you are interested.
Awesome. So Denise may be a good connection for you since she deals in that space. So we all look for holistic ways. I mean, I know my wife's all about the holistic stuff too. So no, you don't want to keep putting more chemicals and so. All right. Well, thank you for all you do and who you serve, and so we'll keep that in mind to keep the good energy flowing for LMT and Wellness Coach. Thank you, Teresa. So Tony, how do you pronounce your last name?
Guarnacha.
Guarna.
Yeah, I'll put the phonetic in there.
Tony G. Okay, Tony G.
Yeah, actually that's why I have my website is Tony G, because no one can say it.
Well,
but there's the phonetic just in case you're curious.
Mine's Renner. It's just spelled the same way backwards. So
oh, that's cool. I never thought about that. That's very interesting.
So you're the podcast guy I've been trying to get a hold of. So I did want to talk to you about moving into 2024 and really doubling down on my podcast.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so for the sake of everyone, what I do is I help make podcasting profitable. Most people, they have a great product or service, but unfortunately people just don't know who they are. And so podcasts are one of the best ways to grow your audience, your income, and your impact. And so that's what I do. I help people market and monetize themselves through a podcast. And so, that's, and my mission is to make podcasting profitable. And we want to impact 1 million entrepreneurs, business owners through podcasting. That's our vision.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm one of your customers right now because we're moving into that season, and podcasting, it really has changed my life. One of my business coaches about 3 or 4 years ago said, there's a course that you teach about investing. You should put that in a podcast. 45 minutes later, I've been using that same podcast to bring in dozens of clients a month to talk about investing, and it's still evergreen. So let's see. We had some questions on chat. Tony, you've got my information. You know how to get on. You just Google me, you'll find me. So
yes, and I'll put my contact information there. Just if anyone wants to set up a meeting or connect with me on LinkedIn or whatever works for you, I'll put.
You got Skylar and William who are in the marketing space too. So
yeah, and I have a platform as well. So what's different about me? It's a software platform, and I have an agency on top of it. So I built my own code. And so God's been doing some crazy stuff lately. Saw some really interesting testimonials, like literally getting like contacted by with the NFL and just like crazy stuff like that. It's just really interesting. So
that's amazing. Yeah. Well, it's such an implied endorsement doing podcasts and so I really, and we can do it like this. You don't have to leave your own home. It's amazing. So, all right. So we had got some questions about the meeting. And I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything before we get too far. Tony's we can book the meeting through there. Okay, great. Can I can vouch for the strength of podcasting. Tony, what's your phone number? Great. Okay, so we see networking going on already here. Thanks so much, Ben. What is the Kingdom? Tri-Kingdom is Skylar and Williams, trikingdom.com. Are you guys able to see this chat on the side?
Yeah.
Okay. Shows you how much I know about Zoom. Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you, Tony. We needed to be in touch. Next is Diana. Are you still in South America? Gotta unmute.
Hello.
Hi.
No, no longer in South America. Thank God. I am back in the States. Yeah, God did just an amazing miracle. I was telling Jeff a little bit about it, I think. And, essentially I was going back there to visit my dad, just for those who don't know, after 21 years of seeing my dad. And so it had been a really, really long time. But there was a risk to that because I just became a resident of the US. I had my Venezuelan passport that was expired. So going back to a country that is, not doing well government-wise is a risk to go through those processes, and you don't know the time frame. So I had people even tell me that, because I never got my government ID when I was little before I left and all that stuff, had to go through many different steps to be able to renew my passport. And there was even one government person who said it would take from 1 to 3 years. And that's me already being there. And so talk about, listening to that and realizing no, but my Heavenly Father told me he was going to bring me, but he was also going to take me back. So just continuing to trust that and continue to just walk in faith. And I kept knocking the doors and just going and asking questions. Well, long story short, everything that had to happen before I was able to renew my passport could have also taken anywhere from 30 to 90 days. And it happened in one day, guys. It happened in one day. And everybody was just blown away. But that does not happen here. That is definitely a God, movement. And it was just yeah, glory to him, because only he could have done it. You know what I mean? And we didn't have to pay anybody. We didn't have to do anything on the back end. Just God did it all. So it was amazing. And so a time of restoration for sure too with my family.
That's awesome.
But I'm back. And I love what I get to do. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Diana. I am from Venezuela, so I speak Spanish. And I am a corrective chiropractor, and I love what I do because I get to bring people hope in their health just yesterday I was talking to somebody, and that was also a God divine appointment, because she was talking to me about the neck pain that she was having going into her shoulder, happening for so many years. She was actually told, like, let's do a nerve ablation by her doctors. And she said for some reason, you know, she always goes to her doctor's appointments, but for some reason she did not this time. And so she did not go through her nerve ablation. And I got to talk to her yesterday. And so I am excited because I get to help her find more of what is going on. And that is what it's all about. It's like there's always something deeper going on. And we start with the nervous system, because the nervous system controls all adaptation of the body, the responses, the function, the healing. And so we want to understand what is keeping us disconnected, right? Spiritually, we know that a lot of people are disconnected from God, but physically, a lot of us are disconnected from how God, you know, just basically created our bodies to work. And so that's from above down and inside out. And that's how the nervous system is wired. So that's what I love, helping people, and then also connecting with people like Teresa. I know I need to reconnect with you, and other health providers that really are in the 5 essentials, which is like nutrition, toxicity, and exercise, because those are all also big factors in health, right? But we start with the nervous system. And so my ask is, you know, if there's anybody in your circle of influence, family, friends that are struggling, that maybe have been dealing with some things that are like, nah, it's not limiting. Like, I can just keep doing what I'm doing. I just deal with it. I just push through it. Like, why? Why do they have to? They don't have to, right? That's not keeping them connected to who they were meant to be. And it affects how they also live out their purpose, right? So just let them know that what I do, I'll put my contact info in the chat. But then the other ask would be prayers for 2024. I'm in this kind of like lingo of, you know, where I want to take my practice. Right now I'm at Keen Family Chiropractic as like an independent contractor. And so I just really want to gain clarity of what's the next step business wise. And then also just like how I can continue to reach this community that needs so much help, right? So
Amazing. So what's funny is Jeff actually at the meeting in October, the online meeting, you joined us from Venezuela. And so truly international meeting. And then at the very end, Jeff, I think you weren't on the call after. I think your internet stopped, but he prayed for you. And I think also I felt like the peace of God that was all over you. You were so confident that God had this, and that you weren't going to be there for 3 or 9 months or a year or 2, 3 years. You're like,
yeah.
well, God's got this. And here, you know, here we get to pray for each other too. I mean, that's the other thing is about an ask can be just that. Can you pray for our business? And we actually, in the live meetings, we have prayer warriors there. If you need some prayer, come to the meeting, and after the meeting, we've got a nice little corner by the stage where you can get prayer for your business. So keep in mind, if anybody is a prayer warrior and wants to help us pray for businesses, let us know. Okay. Thank you, Diana. Appreciate it.
Here's that prayer list from that day, and you're highlighted in green. So those are good things. Green is good.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Welcome back. Welcome to be restored. All right. So David Richardson, boy, you've been with us since we were 4 or 5 guys in a conference room 4 or 5 years ago. So tell us about You Do Mortgages, right? Okay, so you got to unmute though.
21 years as a mortgage banker, mortgage broker, do every loan in America, but I actually specialize in reverse mortgages for seniors in Texas, age 62 and up. It's not for everybody, but for the right one, it's powerful.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Love the body of Christ.
And you also like to work with veterans, which is very
True
as well. And then you have your own testimonies too of all the things God's done for you. So
and still doing.
Yeah.
I'm in a real unique family situation. The Lord is still working out for His glory.
So we'll keep you and your family in prayers for
Thank you.
full restoration.
Appreciate it.
togetherness.
We have a daughter who has a traumatic brain injury, and since 1998, my wife has been with her pretty much full time every day. So it's just a lot of pressure on my wife.
All
Her
right,
name
well,
is Diane. Appreciate you praying for Diane.
got the prayers there, Jeff, Diane, for sure. So amazing. So, well, thank you, David. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming back.
Appreciate y'all.
See
Thank
you-
you, brother.
see you next time soon. Isi. Otiz?
Oteze.
Otize, okay.
Oteze. Great work. So thank you for having me here. I'm new to this group. I started coming to the networking group on maybe about 2 months ago. I've done 2 events so far, and this is the 3rd time I'm showing up here. This is the first time I'm showing up virtually. So my name is Isi Oteze, and I'm a proud owner of Focal Point Business Coaching of Austin. I firmly believe that businesses have a unique purpose to fulfill in the economy of God's kingdom. However, I often come across business owners and leaders who feel stuck because they've stopped seeing the possibilities and they've lost faith in their true business potential. So my why is really to guide those that I'm called to serve, helping them break through inertia, gain clarity on their true potential, and reclaim the dream that they
Nice.
have for their business. And so by working together, my clients really, they gain that clarity, and they also gain increased momentum towards achieving their goals. And I guide them to see the true potential of their business. We map out a plan to achieve that, and then I provide support and accountability throughout the journey. So ultimately giving them peace of mind. So if someone you know, my ask is, if you know someone who is feeling stuck, isolated, overwhelmed in their business, they're looking to take their business to the next level of growth, kindly just send them, do them a favor and do a warm introduction.
So Isi, let me ask a question. Do you have any kind of course that you teach? Because what you're talking about is super valuable and it can be done easily for a group, maybe for a 35, 40-minute presentation like this, where you can tell us about how you help restore businesses and the dream, because I think that's a lot of people have lost the dream.
I have, yes, I can show, I do courses, I do goal setting, I do strategic business planning. I also do, whether it's Way to Wealth, is the formula that I work with my clients on, and I can bring that into this group as well.
Hey, well, hook up with us and we'd love to see what God can do through you. And it's great to give and share. So
Absolutely.
awesome. Thanks, Issy. We'll see you at lunch. Remember, next we're not going to have a lunch because it's following right after Christmas, December. So this is the last meeting for December. We will have another online meeting starting in January, which will be the 2nd Wednesday. And then the 4th Wednesday, we're going to be back at the Vineyard. So just kind of let you guys know. So enjoy your Christmas holidays and the reason for the season. Thanks, Issy. Hey, John Glenn, how are you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? Glad to be here.
Mr. Chat GPT himself, huh?
Hey guys, yeah. So my name is John Glenn. I'm an application engineer by trade. I specialize in data science in the semiconductor industry. On the side, however, I help small businesses through three phases. One is web design, second is SEO, and generative AI, integrating artificial intelligence into their business to automate as well as streamline their processes. I'm a father of 7, and I'm a servant of God. And I also am passionate about apologetics and teaching people how to share the gospel and defend their faith. And I do that through a website that I just recently started, which is called inspiredbydesign.io. And there it allows you to utilize AI through OpenAI's GPT platform to strengthen your apologetic skills. So those that are looking to learn how to share the faith and defend the gospel, there's some really cool tools there that you can go and discover how to grow in faith. So that's my story.
You put that in the chat?
Sure.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let me get this chat box down again so it doesn't, oops, there we go. Okay, awesome. Okay, Jonathan McDonald, you're up, but you're driving, so multitasking.
Yeah, I am driving. So thanks. I hope you guys can hear me all right.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
So I am the owner of serenityandgrace.com. Basically, serenity is real. Peace and freedom is real. And most people don't have it. I met a lot of people who they look like they have it. They act like they have it. But God has given me a gift of discernment. And if I sit with you long enough for a few minutes, I can usually pick apart. Most people are usually really sad, really angry, really depressed, really anxious, and they have no idea why.
Well, you and Issy can get together on that one.
Yeah, I would love to collaborate. I mean, really, God, I have burned my life to the ground, and I didn't realize why I burned my life to the ground. And it wasn't until I did that I was able to truly find humility, find grace in God, and find a purpose. And it is an amazing thing that I don't get, and that's why it's serenity and grace, because it's grace that I don't deserve. I don't deserve it at all. And so if I can carry the message forward to other people who are suffering and who need it, and really the only answer is the love of God through Jesus Christ. It's like you have a living water flowing inside of you, and people just want to come drink from it, and they don't understand why they want to come drink from it. And you can share with them the good news. And I think that a lot of people, I work with a lot of people like with Jeff that are addicts and alcoholics, kind of at the bottom of the barrel, and they're desperate and hopeless. Well, those people are easy to work with because they don't really have anywhere else to go. So they're willing to take suggestions. They're willing to make changes in their life. Well, then you got a lot of people who are parishioners who go into church every day, and quite literally, all they're doing is checking boxes. I did my thing. Oh, I did my tithing. Oh, I did my prayers. Oh, I did. Well, you know what? When they lay their head down at night, they're miserable. And they don't know where to go. They don't know how to get out of this misery. And it really ultimately has to do with selfishness, ego, and figuring out some real truths in your life that we like to bury into the darkness of our closets.
It's kind of like what Jeff said. How many times? You really only grew, Jeff, when you crashed and burned, right? You're on the mountaintop. You weren't really seeking any answers. You were already there, right? So crash and burn. God restores you again, and then So
change rarely happens at the top. Right.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Jonathan.
Yes,
that's great. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Jonathan.
what a great angle. What a diversified group we have here. So we try to keep this down to that hour. So, but Luis, I'd love to hear your testimony and hear about your amazing business that you brought from 0 to 300 or something like that. 0 to 500. I don't know. Yeah. So tell us about your business, Luis.
Hi everyone. Well, testimony, I truly do love this group. Jeff has been a great almost a mentor. I've had lunch with him a few times. Just a very wise man, very gracious man. So thank you, Jeff, for everything. Really made an impact in my family's life, and everyone that I've met in this group. But yeah, I run a life insurance brokerage. Moved here from California in January, and I came out here with like 10 business partners, and as Ken was saying, we've grown from 10 to 300 in less than a year.
Woo, yeah. Teach us how to do that.
We just had training. You can see this is our new training room. So we had this filled last night. But we're I love what I do. I've been doing it for 5 years now. Relates to a lot of what you guys were speaking about, Denise. We have a lot of our clients, when they get to the age where they need some type of long-term care, they're able to access their life insurance policy through living benefits, and make sure they can get some good long-term care in their home rather than being put in a home. David, a lot of our I sit with a lot of clients that do reverse mortgage, and they want to put some of that money away and protect it, so that way when if they do have to go into a home or anything like that, they have some money saved. So I'm looking to work with anyone. We all are aging. We're all getting older. One day Jesus is going to call us, and so our time here won't be anymore. So we need to protect the ones that we love, right? Making sure that they're protected and that they're secure. So I don't work with one life insurance company. I work with over 30. So my job is to find what's best for you and your family. So thank you guys very much for your time.
Thank you for making people and their families feel secure when the inevitable happens and we go see Jesus and they know where we're at and we know where they're at. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. Gosh, this is great. All the chat, everybody's exchanging information. So one of the things too is the bottom line is that this meeting, if you're okay, if everybody's all right with it, will go as one of our first Facebook posts, so that people want to get to know this, and then we can talk about other ones. Robert Chambers, I know you're out there doing missions and right now doing the can you talk?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I can talk. Okay, hey, great to be here. I know I met you, Ken, once upon a time when you came to my church and talked about your book. Glad you mentioned your book. I do have it. I'm gonna pull it out, and I'm gonna read some stuff to prepare for next year. I just became a senior transition specialist, and what I do is I help seniors eliminate the stress of selling a home if they are going into transitioning into an assisted living facility. And through my network, I'm committed to making that transition care to assisted living a smooth and stress-free one. And I do that through the network that I have. I'm a connector, and so I like to also build networks. And through networks I have, whether it consists of an attorney, other professionals to get things, if a senior needs to get things out of the house, if I need to connect people to others that can help them, professionals that can help make the decision as to what type of care the senior might need, I help do all of that. So, uno momento, por favor. So some people, I'm at the storage unit. People are picking up stuff. But so yeah, I want to, my ask is to connect with people who are involved in senior care and assisted living, connecting with as many of them, as many people as possible, people who assist seniors. I know my mother-in-law is 90 years old, and I know some people who are going through some things, trying to decide, and you had mentioned it too, the baby boomer generation, or people are getting older. And, lots of times the average person who has a parent that is going through potentially needing the transition, the average person, their parent lives about 400 miles away from them. And so a lot of times they may not have, those connections and stuff. They may be at a loss as to try and figure out, what do I do with mom or dad? How do I deal with everything that's involved? And, so I want to be that connector, whether it's, either for them or with people, with organizations that help find people, find assisted living facilities that's the best for mom or dad, that when they need to obtain the finances and stuff in order to pay for it, and just deal with that whole getting rid of the house and everything that's involved with that, that I'll be that person that can assist them. And
Well,
if they need an attorney to deal with all that, I can refer them to one. So
Thanks, Robert.
that's what I do.
Robert, we needed you last year, so we were just 1 year late. And Jeff and I actually, a house in Avery Ranch, I had a client that came to me, never met her, I met her back when she was healthy, but she had an accident, hit her head. She had to go to assisted living. But she was very paranoid about meeting or talking to anybody. It was COVID was going on and all that. So we had to put her, get all the stuff out of her house, put it in storage sheds. Jeff did all that. Had to get rid of her Lexus. Well, Jeff actually bought her Lexus from her. So we had to get the house painted. So our team came in and painted. We had to get the roof done. So Phyllis from our group, she's the roofer. She got the roof done. All this had to be done and remotely without actually meeting the person. And so eventually we got everything done, everything out of there. And it really reminded me of, how when you're incapacitated, how helpless she was. And we pulled it off, got the house sold. And she was very, very paranoid, but finally, and eventually we got the notary to go sign her up, and everybody got it all turned out for good. So we've been personally through that recently, and it's not fun, but it sure is needed, your help.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate you. Thank you for
All
all
right,
the
you're
missionary
welcome.
work you're doing out there. So Storage Wars.
You're welcome.
Okay, cool. So we have Fireflies, a note taker. Is that a person, or is that is that something? See anybody here? Well, we'll jump on over to John Spear.
I think that's an AI.
Is that an AI?
It's
Okay.
an AI.
I think that's an AI
Lying on us.
taking note for somebody. I don't know who that is, but it's taking note for somebody.
It's
Gotcha.
Hey, and Ken, that might be your twin too. You never know.
We need John Glenn to give us some input on that one.
Yeah, John, what
right.
is Fireflies.ai? Are they spying on us? Is that what's happening?
I think so.
All right, so John Spear, you want to go ahead and unmute and there she goes. Okay, so
Hey guys, anyway, hey John Spear. I guess I was by late at the party. I used to go to Vineyard about 20 something years ago. That's when I met Jeff Lewis and company. Anyway, reconnected. Listening to y'all's stories, I'd love to hit up each one of you on what you're doing, because it sounds like there's opportunity there, right, for us to work together. I run a small IT services and solutions company here in Austin. We've got a lot of opportunity here lately, and so my big need is people to do jobs for us, right? So if you anyone in this in the IT field or wants to get in the IT field, we've got a lot of opportunity out there with the state and local government for a lot of the contractors I work with. So a lot of my job right now is finding opportunities for folks, and then also trying to find folks to fill those opportunities, right? So we've had a lot of growth this year. This is my first year really doing this full time, and so you look at God is good, right? I've been through a lot of different jobs that have prepared me for this role. And so I look back at the struggle, and I think that was just kind of God lead me to where I am today. And what's interesting is I've reached out to Jeff three times over the last 20 years. And then here lately, he responded to me. So we must all be on the same wavelength, right? So someone's pushing us all together, and I'm glad I found you guys. I'm glad I'm here. So
yeah, glad to have you, John. Really appreciate it. And you're really, we don't have a whole lot of IT guys in there. John Glenn's one of them, and it seems like there's a lot of synergistic ways for that all to fit together.
Yeah, but IT's in everywhere. Each one of you are touching IT somewhere. You're on your computer right now. That's IT. So let me know how we can help. But yeah, just I look forward to working with you guys and getting to know more of you, attending more of these meetings, and just learning your story. So
I appreciate you, John. Thank you for coming, and thanks for reconnecting with Jeff and the Vineyard. So awesome. Well, and then we have one more iPhone here. I'm not sure who the name is here. I will ask to unmute, and we'll be right just at the 1 hour. We pulled it off, Jeff. We pulled it off. Is there anybody here at iPhone?
Yeah.
It could be me, Dick Joffroy.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Dick.
How you doing? I work with youth, and so I'm dealing with FCA. And I deal with FCA in the underprivileged areas, which is the Eastern Crescent. Why am I on the north side working with the east side? Because on the east side, you don't have any money. So consequently, they didn't have anybody to step up and fulfill the role of being a director with the Eastern Crescent, which is Pflugerville, Austin ISD, Houston-Tillotson, Manor, Elgin, Del Valley, Bastrop, Smithville. There's several schools that didn't have any FCA organization, but you had some coaches who were trying to influence kids' lives. And with FCA going in there, they've grown unbelievably in what they have accomplished.
What's
So
FCA stand
consequently,
for?
Fellowship of Christian Athletes.
Oh, okay.
And in this year, we've effectively passed out over 1,000 Bibles. They've gotten where they're doing Bible studies with kids, 621 of them. And this has gone from 0 to this. So, I mean, it's exploded where they've had episodes in the East Side that you guys aren't even associated with or aware of because of the gangs that are pervasive out in that area. So kids who play sport, it's difficult for them to choose between going to FCA and Bible studies and working with coaches who are Christians and participating in gangs. There's no booster clubs over there. So consequently, coaches were making sandwiches in their kitchen to take to kids for pre-game meals for football and basketball and baseball. So consequently, I need the ear of individuals like all these businessmen who are here. I'm a retired businessman myself, and give us an opportunity to share what Fellowship of Christian Athletes does and why it's so important to change lives. It gives hope to kids who are coming through the education systems in broken homes. Majority of them are single parents. It's majority of underserved, under-resourced schools. So consequently, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has come in and bought a lot of equipment and cleats and helmets and just hope for these coaches who are out there. We had gone in Pflugerville itself from 5 kids who were participating in what they call a huddle, which is a small Bible study, to 160 who showed up the other night. And half of those kids wrote out prayer requests that I want to recommit my life and or who is Jesus and how do I get on that bandwagon. So the effect is phenomenal. What they're accomplishing is just incredible. It's exciting to give hope to kids in a time when universities are falling apart with everything that's taking place in this country, which is negative. This is all very, very positive. So I've known Jeff for years and worked with him in a lot of different roles. But if there's an opportunity for us to share openly in one of those meetings, it would be a good 15, 20-minute presentation that we could give.
Okay, we'll definitely consider it. Thank you. It's amazing, compassionate. And like we say in the meetings, healthy things grow. So if you're growing like that at leaps and bounds, it means you're doing something right, stewarding well. All right, so we're just over our 1 hour and we made it. We had almost 20 folks or more networkers engaging. This has been really fun. Love it that we don't have to get in a car and drive through the rain to get to hang out with each other. But come January, we'll see you at the fourth Wednesday, as well as the second Wednesday for another Zoom meeting. Hopefully we'll have, this has been an amazing time. Maybe we can have another great time like this. We'll be working on getting a private Facebook group through. We'll be posting this webinar or a Zoom meeting, as well as if you want to do any one-on-ones with me. I'm building a one-on-one basis, I call it experts interviews. So that you can expose your business, and it's kind of a co-branding with me. I'm co-branding with you, and I have a pretty good database, over 10,000 people. So when I start sharing stuff, it's very helpful. So keep in mind, we're going to go back through the chat really quickly, just make sure I hadn't missed anything. Thanks for looking at all the participation. That's awesome.
Yeah, can John? Okay, John has just shared this information. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, John Spear, can you share?
I just shared it for you guys.
Okay.
What is the jobs website? Jonathan was asking. I think Jonathan stepped away.
Oh, that was for John Spear's company. I don't know if he's on another call, but he's got us muted out.
Okay.
But he's the IT.
The IT job website.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know it, but I'll find out and I'll get back to. Oh, there it is. He just responded. Austin Data Logistics. John's a sharp guy. We've known him for a while, and we got disconnected for a minute, but he's growing like nuts. So there he is.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. I'm not sure if this is in it is in chronological order. So this will be on the recording in case people want to visit back and see if there's anything that they wanted to connect with. Kind of scrolling through here. Look
And
at all
let
the
me
connections.
bless
Everybody's
you.
connecting. It's like, okay, Skylar meeting, John meeting, Williams meeting, John Glenn, Denise is going.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. Okay.
Hey, let me pray for you guys.
Yeah,
and,
let's close out.
and then we'll wrap it up, and then we'll
Louis,
see.
Louis, do we have your information on there, Louis? This is Yomi. I'm in the same field with
Yes,
you. I think
I'll put it on there again.
I need to have lunch with you. All right.
I literally there's a mark from his phlebotomist who just drew my blood the other day in my arm. I bought some life insurance from Lewis. It is literally fresh off the plate. So Lord, I thank you for all these guys. Help us not to be the guy with only the one talent, right? That is afraid and operates in fear. Lord, I pray for businesses that can contribute to the church, as was said, 10 or 100x what maybe a normal family might be able to do. Father, we need your help. Everything from nonprofits to communication well, that our message would be clear and concise, that we across all boards, right? Like, so from our Facebooks to our web pages, that what we're selling and what we're offering would be clearly read and it would be communicated well. Father, thank you for the testimonies that you heard, Dana coming back, and pray for what the Lord has for her in 2024, the direction of her business. Father, lift up David Richardson's daughter. Pray for restored healing for her from the traumatic brain injury. Lord, that for Izzy, that as she helps business owners reclaim their dream, man, we need that. Father, for serenity and grace, that people would have peace and joy, and that those that don't would be able to help come together and figure that out. Father, for the restoration of lives, for those that get left behind, right? The living, for life insurance and health insurance policies that are getting sold. Lord, for those that we're seeking to help in senior care and the connections, whether that's getting their money right or their future in line so that they can receive the benefits that they need. For workers, for John Spear, and the growth that they're receiving as a company, as Ken said, good things grow. Father, thank you for the 1,000 Bibles that went out to through Dick Joffoy and his and the youth that he serves through FCA. Lord, thank you for what you've done. Without you, we would be up a creek, and you get all the glory. We are just vessels, and we get to play in your playground.
All right.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you guys for a
Amen.
wonderful meeting. And I think there's friendships being forged right as we speak. So
Amen, indeed.
So I'm going to put my Renner Realty here to join the crew.
Yeah.
And we'll see it the next one. It'll be second Wednesday. We'll see if you're on, make sure you're on our email list and keep an eye out for the new stuff that we'll be sending. If anybody wants to do an interview, David Richardson, let's do one. Let's get a quick interview you can use for your social media sphere of influence, sending out your database and all that fun stuff. So I love it.
Hey, and thank you. A plug for John Glenn. I don't know if he's still here, but he built us one of our last websites, and thanks to him, we will hit an all-time, God willing, we'll hit an all-time revenue record this month.
Awesome.
There
All right, you
go.
guys have a wonderful Christmas. Happy New Year. Talk to you soon. I'm looking forward to connecting up with you next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love y'all.
See you.